Hey guys, hello and welcome. My name is David. Today we are going to be discussing the all-new Apex SLSX 5.1. I've got Bryan here and I've got Dev, so we can, what we want to do is just sit down and go through the new Apex frame. Just explain to guys what we did, why we did it, our interpretations, our experiences, what we've actually found to work really well on this frame. So when you guys actually get this kit and you start selecting equipment for it, going through your setup on it, props, electronics, all of that, you guys will have a really good idea of what does work and what doesn't. We have busted up thousands and thousands of props. We've burnt up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of packs to get to this point. So hopefully the information today is useful and you guys will be able to get this frame up and running as quickly as possible, and also to get as much out of this frame as you possibly can. Let's take one. Okay, so with this frame, we went back to basics on this, we really did. For some reason, we end up with complicated builds from time to time on some of the frames we've had in the past. So with this frame, we looked at what was important to us when we go and race. And what is important to us when we go and race is something that is reliable, something that is light, and something that's easy to build as well. So those were pretty much the three most important criteria for this frame. And obviously you can't get fast with the frame if it isn't reliable. If you're worried about actually pushing this frame and it does take a bad crash, you don't want to walk over to the frame and see bits and pieces lying around. So we needed to come up with something that could take a damn good hit, something that was light, but also extremely easy to build. So having a look a bit more from the pilot's perspective, obviously Bryan and Dev helped me a heck of a lot in actually developing this frame, and a lot of their feedback, their experiences practicing through races influenced the design and some of the aspects which you see in this full production frame. So Dev, I know you grew up on the hard train with weight.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. I think that was mainly Bryan. I didn't really concentrate much on weight, but for this build it was something that we really had to concentrate on. And there were a few things that we decided to do that made this that much more competitive in terms of weight. And I think one of the things that we started to do with the linear antennas, I don't think we've noticed much loss on them, but we've kind of all moved to linear antennas. That was a big thing for us.
It's a massive weight.
Yeah, it really, I mean...
Yeah, it saves about 18 grams, about, depending on what antenna you're using, but like TBA stubby, with the SMA connector, it was coming in at about 22 grams, and that is under a gram.
It's huge. And then just with the linear antenna, I see you've got it up the back. I sometimes put it up the top over there, which is quite nice to have. One of the other things that we've all started doing is we've started using 2 bolts instead of 4, and I think that's what
4 grams a motor.
4 grams.
So it's 3 grams a motor. So it's about 12 grams in total.
Yeah.
So it's little things that actually add up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Something I was astonished at, like I was really, really surprised, is how much weight your frame picks up from stupid things like zip ties, heat shrink, stuff like that. Insulation tape, yeah. So it's not that swapping out your regular Omni for a whip is going to make a massive difference. It's a combination. It's 18 grams. But when you add that to the weight that you save on your motors, plus the weight saving you gain from using the fewest number of zip ties, then it all starts to add up, and that starts to make sense. So I know I got loads and loads of messages from you. We need to get this framework down.
Yeah.
We need to get this the all-up weight of the frame as low as we possibly can.
Yeah. Focus was to put the frame under 70 grams, which fits nicely. And then to pair it with the electronics that are designed more on weight, with weight in mind rather than power. So instead of using a 2306 motor, you use a 2206.
Yeah.
And instead of using ESCs on the arms, you bring your weight in so that your reaction speeds get quicker, and you use a 4-in-1 ESC.
Yeah. Definite weight saving in that as well. So this frame, definitely to get the most performance out of this, you can lightweight.
I think we're looking between 250 and 280 grams as a whole.
Yeah.
Try to keep it there in that space.
That's including props and battery strap. That's all up to our weight.
So that's this thing.
Yeah, it's just that.
Yeah.
Alright, now, like for myself, not being an extremely good pilot, but from your guys' perspective who are actually out practicing, burning up packs on a daily basis, trying to get as much performance out of this as you possibly can. Now, performance is not just straight line speed, it's acceleration into and out of corners. It's trying to get your line smooth through an entire course. It's not just being fast and straight and then losing all of it because you're overshooting. It's consistent. How much does dropping all this weight?
A lot.
Yeah, it's been making a difference.
The quad just reacts so much quicker. You don't have, if you do a hard 180, you don't have that like back drag that you feel
and the
from
drift
your weight.
that you get.
Yeah. The quad just reacts and moves in the direction that you put it.
Something that I like that you mentioned. Now, I mean, I sit behind a computer, sit and CAD the stuff, and then make sure it's tough, make sure it does what you say it will do. But you mentioned reaction speed. Now, it may be something which is often forgotten, but you do, when you're going that much quicker, you do have to react faster, obviously. And shifting the weight of the ESCs off the arms into the center does actually make a difference. Now, I'm very hesitant when people say you get such a big difference from something so subtle, because I believe more in adding up a number of small changes which will then influence the overall performance of something. But just in that one change that we made, going from ESCs on the arms to a 4-in-1 or a center stack, really did make a difference. What other suggestions would you guys make for making this frame? I know you said 22s, 23s. What else would you guys, cameras, the stack in general?
The one thing we did recommend was the small LED receivers. We were using
Yes.
That's a good 4 grams difference, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 grams
Yeah.
difference to use the smaller lighter receivers. Just being conscious of weight. So everything you add will add a little bit of like a gram here, a gram there. And if you're not concentrating, all of a sudden you have 20 extra grams that you don't need on your quad.
And another thing was the micro cams. We're using a mini camming at the moment, and you can shave another, I think it's about another 10 grams off if you're using a micro cam.
Yeah. And one of the main reasons we went with the mini is because the sides of the camera are flush. Now, like I've hopped on about this a couple of times, but simplicity. Sometimes you'll fly, you don't even put your quad down in the dirt, you land, you plug in again, and your camera's dead. So it does happen. Now, actually, getting your camera out is not an issue. I mean, it's an adjuster bolt, it's a bolt on the side of the camera, and one on that side as well. And you can just pull this camera straight out the front. So again, the simplicity factor and the speed and the ease of actually doing changes in between heats is really, really high. It's so simple to actually change stuff up. And for me, that was a major plus. Now something else which we did on this frame, which we haven't done before, is we stretched it slightly. So what that means is the distance between your front motors and your rear motors is slightly more than the distance left to right, or right to left, side to side. How much of a difference does that make for track racing? What has that done in terms of your style of flying? How does it affect the handling around the track?
You're more stable on the pitch, and you're a little bit more agile on the roll.
Okay, and that makes it.
You can feel it, yeah.
Yeah. But also, for me, it makes the quad a little bit skinnier.
Yeah.
Which helps when you're pulling really tight around corners and through gates. You're not going to clip it. Not exactly. You have that little bit extra on the sides.
It's a bit shorter.
Alright, so I mean, I've never flown a stretch before, but what I liked was that almost it's more forgiving on the pitch, so you can kind of concentrate more on your roll because you're doing so much more rolling around the track than you are adjusting your height. We do have obstacles now where you do have to start going over things and not just around things anymore. But without a doubt, your most inputs are on your arrows, so the left to right. And for me, having that little bit of a stretch did definitely make it feel more planted. You were able to concentrate more on adjusting your aileron and also concentrating more on your obstacles, not having to focus so much on trying to get through a gate, for example. You were getting through a gate, but then setting yourself up for the next obstacle, which I found really, really hard. Some of the basic specs on this. This has got a solid 4mm thick base plate, monoplate. We have used 3K carbon on this. This is 12 3K. We've also gone around the entire edge of this frame and chamfered it off top and bottom. So that prevents split ends on the arms itself, but it also stops your battery straps from fraying through as well, because we all know how long battery straps usually last. So we've done that as well. Then just looking a little bit more at the mono itself. This we spent a heck of a lot of time on, we really did, and we went backwards and forwards through a bunch of different prototypes before we found a recipe that works well. So we've got the stack in the center here, symmetrically located between the arms. So this stops your battery strap from sliding forward or backwards in a crash, which is quite cool, just the geometry itself there. Also, all the major cutouts on the center here to reduce the weight. But then we also tapered off the arms towards the motor to reduce drag as much as we possibly could, but then gave it like a nice big fillet back and front to stop it from possibly fracturing. Simplicity wise, we've got the base plate, the two sides, and the top deck lid, pretty much the entire frame, with a couple of fasteners in between just to hold it together. A lot of the time you'll find that trying to shave weight, guys cut out a lot of the camera protection on these, so your camera is left dangling out the front. We felt it really important that we offer as much camera protection on this as possible. So regardless of your camera angle, you do have a really good amount of camera protection on this unit. Then moving on from that, we have the simplicity factor. And definitely going with the mono base plate, we really did improve our simplicity on this frame quite a bit. you can literally tear this frame down in probably 2 or 3 minutes. Really, really simple to do. Although it is a really small frame, it's got a very small footprint, it is stretched, but you are also able to fit a full 35mm stack in here. So you've got a full 35mm build cavity there, which allows you to add a quadruple high stack into this frame, which is really cool. So you aren't limited, or you don't have to worry about squeezing in components here. You've got loads of space to get to it, and also to build really, really simple, neat builds, which is also really important for racing. In terms of actually getting to your electronics, we've got this little tiny skinny lid up top here, the top deck lid. You can remove the one bolt on the back there for that back standoff, and all you have to do is just loosen these two in front, each side of the side plate, and this actually flips forward, allowing you to get to your electronic stack almost instantly. So if something does go wrong or something blows up during a race, you can actually get to your electronics in your stack almost instantly, which we felt was really, really important. So if you want to take it one step further, if you want to strip off this whole top bit, what you can do is just remove the 3 bolts in the bottom, and this entire thing comes off as well, allowing you to get to the stack from any side you wish. So that again, really, really important for us.